You missed it by a minute. And
Was
by
it
a
already
minute,
on?
It's now on.
Well, was it on before when
No.
I said hi?
No.
Then
You missed it. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-credit show.
Welcome to the show.
That's Brian's face. That's the post-credit
We're talking
show.
about movies we watched.
You
games
didn't
we
say puppies.
played,
You lied. You said you were
I
going to say
know, I got
puppies.
distracted by more puppies.
and puppies.
And squirrels.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brian.
Welcome to the big shoe, guys.
We're going to talk about games we've played, movies we've
I
watched,
said that.
nerd stuff we've done. I don't know. I'm trying to focus on these two.
Why are you focusing
the
on
way-
me?
the way
we
I've
can
learned
take
it-
care of ourselves.
Can you?
I've
Oh,
learned-
look at a puppy.
Look at all the puppies.
You want to guys look at pictures of kitties? I can do that.
Nick's distracted now.
That's because my wife just sent me a look at the puppy. He's
Are
in
you
a
guys seeing
little
another
car.
puppy?
You guys want to look at Pokemon? Look at that cute Pokemon.
No, we're not
Look
going
at that
to.
Eevee. Look at that cute Pokemon.
Oh, that's a cute puppy.
Look at that.
What a puppy!
It's kind of a puppy.
Speaking of Pokemon.
Kind of a Pokemon. Pokemon. I think we've decided. I've decided I want to name a puppy Lilip. Lillipup.
Lillipup.
Would be a really good name for a little pup.
And then when it evolves,
Hair Terrier.
There you go.
Hair Terrier.
I played the Untitled Goose Game.
How
Yeah,
is the
how's
Untitled?
that?
I like. I mentioned this to you guys before. I love that the fact that they stuck
with
with
the
that
name.
name. Because
Untitled
what other
Goose.
name do you give that game?
Well, so the game started
Goose.
off as a joke.
It is a joke still, but
But
it's
it
a fun
started
joke.
off as a joke, and then they just kept developing it. So it is the Untitled Goose Game. The cool thing, so it gives you a list of things to do to be a dick as a goose.
Oh,
Every
You get a
game.
list. So like
gooses
you,
are
that's not
dicks
hard for
naturally.
well,
geese.
so but that's the piece is like this is how to be like, you know, the best of the best.
oh, of the dicks.
So
Steal their food.
you start off at the beginning. It teaches you how to run, teaches you how to duck because you can get under stuff.
Duck.
Goose.
Get it, duck.
Duck, duck, goose. You can flap your wings and you can honk.
Can you fly?
And you can't fly. You can run, honk, and then pick stuff up. And then if you duck, you can pick stuff up that is lower to the ground. So it gets you out of the main little tutorial area, and you come up to a guy who's gardening. He's got a nice garden. One of the things you have to do is steal his keys. So you can legitimately walk up behind him and nab his keys and run.
Does he notice?
Yep, and he'll start chasing you.
Rather than like stealth.
Now when you like honk, it's like a muffled honk because it's in your beak.
Yep, but no, that one's not too bad because you can still honk. If you get a bottle over your beak, it's a muffled honk.
That's funny.
You can use walkie-talkies in a certain thing to like
Surprise humans, right?
surprise them or distract them. So like you honk over here, but the honk's over there.
Ah.
You can. So the first level, like you have to steal his rake and put it in the lake.
That's
you have
a
to steal
goose
his
thing.
vegetables and have a picnic. So there's a picnic blanket. You have to get like his radio, and there's a jar of jam,
You really are
and there's a thermos, and you have to like nab all this stuff and take it to the bench. The last thing for the first tutorial level is he's now putting up a sign that says no geese, and he's about to hammer it, and your job is to make him hammer his thumb. So he
And then
goes
take
like,
the hammer.
so he goes like
No, you
this,
honk and-
and you honk as he's going down, and he hits his thumb, falls over, opens the gate, and that opens the next level. And yes, I stole his hammer and ran.
Just like a real duck. That's like a real goose.
The next level, one of your
I have a
yes,
question.
yes.
Can you? Are there skins for like Canadian geese?
I have not looked. I do not know.
Oh.
So far, you're just a white goose.
Okay.
The next level, one of your objectives is to trap a boy inside of a phone booth.
It's terrible.
This young boy is afraid of geese, so you walk up and literally go honk and then flap your wings and chase him.
I secretly wonder if they when in the development of this game went out and looked at YouTube videos of
I'm
asshole
pretty
geese
sure.
Oh, yeah.
and said like
probably.
we can make that
So
scenario.
either way, you trap the kid. The kid calls the electronics store next door. That guy comes out to like shoo you away. You run into his store, press a button that changes like all the TVs to the camera.
To the goose.
Well, so it's on you. So then you're on like the TVs. So now you've completed 2 objectives. Then the young boy gets out of the phone booth, and you now have to, because he has glasses, you have to go over to the store that's on like the side of the thing, steal some glasses from there, and get him to
Oh.
put the wrong glasses on. You can do this in multiple ways. I saw someone online. They untied the kid's shoe, scared the kid. The kid trips and falls, so his glasses fall off. You grab his glasses and run, leaving behind the other pair of glasses, so he gets up and puts
That's
them on.
very intricate programming.
I stole his toy plane and threw it somewhere just because that's what I was doing. Either way, he goes to look for his toy plane under the bench. That's where I was hiding in wait and nabbed the glasses right off of his face.
Just like a real duck.
and ran.
Wow, you were
Just like a real geese.
So yeah, there's so
Goose.
much weird
Goose
stuff
geese?
to do
Just like a
in
real
this.
goose.
It's a weird game, and it's obviously a puzzle game, but you are just a giant dick.
Goose.
That's
How
all-
to be-
how to be
I
a
wanna
dick.
look at this game.
Wow. It's pretty cool.
I
It's
do-
on sale right now on the Switch, like because it's
Oh,
just coming
Switch?
out. It's on
no,
the Switch. It's
I
on
think-
a lot of stuff.
I was
think.
gonna say it's on other platforms.
But it's
too.
Oh,
on
yeah,
20,
it's
it's
an indie
25% off right now on the
Oh.
Switch
So-
for a launch title. So I think you can get it for $20 instead of.
I think I'm.
Honestly, I could just watch people play this game.
You
I think,
could.
and
This
I
is
would
one of
just
those like if you
crack
find a
up.
streamer and just watch. Like I'm waiting for the Game Grumps to do this one because it will be
Hilarious.
a hilarious laugh riot because nothing tells you how to do anything. So like that's the other piece is you have to figure
Yeah.
out how to.
But the fact that
stuff
you
done.
can do it multiple ways,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's a very intricate program. Like,
Like you can just
whoever
brute force
developed
your
it,
way
yeah.
through most of.
Whoever
them.
developed it thought about all these things.
Yeah.
and-
So yeah,
and
there's that one.
programmed
I
it.
am on
That's
the. I just finished the third dungeon in Link's Awakening
Mhm.
for the Switch.
Is that far in?
There's 8 dungeons.
You have
You
to
have
get
to get 8
in-
instruments to
I've
wake the
never
windfish.
played, so-
The windfish, the egg on the
The
top of the mountain.
windfish. Either way, I've played that, and then they've replaced. So in the original game, there was 8 dungeons. Game. There's also like the trading aspect of like trying to get items and all of that jazz. In the Game Boy Color edition, they added.
The color dungeons, didn't they?
Well, no, they added the color dungeon, which is still in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also added the cameraman who would take your pictures and you could print off on the Game Boy Color
Oh,
printer.
yeah, I remember that printer.
That guy's house, because I made it there to see if like a guy was still going to take pictures, has been replaced by Dompe's house from. He's the gravekeeper from.
Oh, it's the dungeon building piece, right?
Yeah.
He is now the dungeon building
so
guy.
cool.
So you get pieces from all the dungeons you've been in,
Yeah.
and you can assemble them into your own dungeon.
This
I
is
love
like
that.
one step away from Zelda Maker.
This is
Yeah.
as close as we will ever get to a Zelda maker.
Dungeon.
I think I spent an hour just playing with dungeons.
Did you?
Yeah.
I
Like, I
built-
loved it.
I built my first one and I made sure it connected and I just wanted to test it out. And you get to keep the rupees,
Yeah.
which is nice. And then if you have a Zelda amiibo, you can save it and then share your dungeons with your
Yeah.
friends through your
Amiibo.
amiibo. So yes, it's Zelda Maker, but very low key Zelda Maker. And yes, you get any of the rooms I think that you've pretty much experienced in
Yeah.
They've said that if this Zelda or this dungeon thing
takes
takes
off.
off, they will invest energy and effort
And that
into
makes
making
sense.
a
It's
dungeon
pretty
maker.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and I like it. And again, you can't tweak any of the rooms really.
No.
Like there's no.
Yeah.
It's not like Mario Maker where it's like, oh, you can
Right.
change what's in the block, or you can do this, or you can do that, or you
So
da-
or
da- da-
each
da- da-
piece is like, so for example, if you have a dungeon tile, it's
Yeah.
like that dungeon tile will exactly have, say, 3 skeletons
Yep.
or
Yeah.
3 moblins
Yep.
or whatever.
2
And
doors
It has to
specifically.
it'll
one
only
door.
be that.
And
Yeah. Okay.
the doors are stuck. Like you can't. There's no
Yeah.
rotating the pieces. It's like these doors go down and sideways.
So it's
You have to sort
okay.
through and find the room that matches the
What you
exits
needed
you
to
want.
do, yeah.
So there's more of an incentive to like finish the game first, and then you'll have more dungeon pieces to work.
Yeah.
And see all of the rooms because you can beat. I've beat some of the dungeons without seeing half the dungeon because I know how to skip keys.
Skip, yeah. I ended one dungeon with an extra key.
Yeah.
I feel like
You can end a lot of dungeons with extra
yeah.
keys.
So I'm like, I feel like am I
There-
missing something?
There's a couple dungeons I didn't even find the map.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean just like Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, like there you can finish some of those dungeons without the map too, and Compass. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's no different.
I don't usually finish with an extra key.
You can in the
Oh.
Forest Temple in Ocarina
Oh,
of
is
Time.
it?
You can get one
Oh,
extra
okay.
key. But yeah, in Link's Awakening, there are multiple extra keys if you just skip rooms.
Skip rooms.
If you know which rooms to skip,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I've forgotten which rooms to skip. Like there was.
I'm assuming they also, it's not just like a straight port either. They've refined and changed the dungeons from the
No.
Game Boy Color.
No,
or
the
Game Boy version.
enemies are the same.
The-
enemies are the same, dungeons are the
The-
same, everything's the same.
Okay.
The
Everything's prettier.
everything's so
Well,
pretty. It's so pretty.
Yes, it's
Like,
like playing
I-
with
So
toys.
cute.
Well, so the best part is like all the bad guys look stellar.
Yes.
Link looks very cute in his little toy soldier like all the characters are stellar. The sound is amazing.
Yes.
Like they've obviously redone all the music. They've stuck to all of the music. They've just re-recorded it all from the like on the Game
8-bit
Boy.
kinda.
Yeah. The MIDI music is now actually like
Actual.
music.
Yeah.
Um
From instruments.
It's fun to know that this game was like a side project, an unofficial Zelda game to start with.
but like
Was
even
this the opening title for the handheld?
Yes, this is the first
This
Game
is-
Boy.
yeah, this was the first Game Boy
Oh.
game. First
Or I mean, for like
First
the
handheld
new
Zelda
Switch
game.
handheld. Was that?
What are we talking
Oh,
about?
the light.
light?
Yeah, the
The light?
Switch Lite.
Yeah, it came out the
Yeah.
same day.
Yeah, so that was,
Yeah.
this was like the sorry, it's off
Yes.
topic.
No, it's the
Yeah.
opening for that one. But yeah, no, like even I had to laugh because there's the trading quests where you get an item and you like,
yeah.
and then you give it to someone and that person gives you something else. So, for instance, I forgot what the first item is, but you get the pink bow, and then from the pink bow you give it to the Bow Wow, who's just a chain chomp,
Oh,
and
it starts with a Yoshi doll, I think.
Yoshi doll from the Crane game. Yoshi doll Crane
Yeah,
game.
trade.
Parent gives you bow.
Classic.
Bow goes to the chain chomp. Chain chomp gives you a can of dog food. Can of dog food goes to
That
the
gator
alligator.
thing.
But the alligator in the original game throws it up in the air, opens his mouth, and chomps it down. I give these beautifully 3D rendered alligator the can of food. He whips it up in the air, opens his mouth in the exact same fashion, and clamps down. And I went, "Damn, they did everything. Like
It's
it
not,
is."
Yeah. It's not even the same development studio. They just basically took the original game and said, we're going to do that.
They
Yep,
make it ever
copy and paste, and like
Yeah.
this is here, like this bush is there, this tree is there, this is like
Yeah.
everything so far is identical. So everybody online now is like, which Zelda game do they do next? And everybody's like, the Oracle games, clearly, because it's the same. Like
It's just,
the Capcom games were the same game design as Link's Awakening. So let's
also,
just,
those were great.
and they were great. So let's keep this engine, let's keep this look, and let's make 2 more games, please.
I think it might be. I want to say Grezio even did those Oracle games. I feel like they did.
I don't know.
Or was it Capcom?
It was Capcom was the developer.
Capcom. Okay, maybe.
But the Oracle games, like, and if they do the Oracle games, I want it being just like or Legend of Zelda Oracle, not of something. I want it as
yeah.
one game.
I think they do too.
Yeah.
I think you do too.
Like if you're gonna redo it,
Yeah, I think
do
you-
it as
No.
one piece.
I think you do it as 2. If
I
I'm
don't want
being
to buy
honest.
2 games.
That's the piece.
You're
They'll
gonna
do
do
it.
a Sword and Shield.
I know,
Well, that's Pokemon though. Like
That's
Not
money.
all Zeldas are
money.
always-
and that's the
too.
piece. Is Zelda will. It's because
They will-
it'll make money.
If they do that, they will. I think they do it.
The nice part about the Zelda one was the games were completely different,
That's right.
as
Yes,
opposed to.
yes.
Seasons was vastly different than Zelda.
Than
Ages.
ages, yeah. So like that's the one nice piece is at least if it's 2 games, they're at least different games.
yeah.
Like vastly different games. But yeah, Link's Awakening so far awesome, and if you've never played it, now's a good time.
It's on my list. I'm already playing another game, so I can't get to it.
Couple games.
I'm almost done the newest season of Family Guy that's on Netflix.
I don't even know.
They did a great episode where they were doing the DVD commentary.
Okay.
What do you? They what?
So it was
They were talking.
like
Oh.
it was them going into the sound booth as like them, so it's Peter and Lois and Stewie and Brian and everybody
Yeah.
going into the booth and being like talking over the episode as if it were like, here we are recording the DVD commentary and da 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 da, and then stuff keeps happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So there's jokes happening on scene that you've missed because they're talking over them. And you can't see any of the action in the booth because you're watching the episode of the show that they're watching to record over. And you're just like, every once in a while, they just like, they nail it. And at one point, Seth MacFarlane walks into the booth
Yeah.
and is like, hi, I'm Seth MacFarlane. And they're like, well, who the hell are you? And he's like, well, I'm half of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
Doesn't
just
he sound
like,
just like Brian. He sounds
oh,
just like
he's
Brian.
slightly off from Brian, so that is
Oh.
actually one of the jokes. Was like it cuts for commercial and comes back, and then he starts talking. He's like, "By the way, this is Seth MacFarlane again, not Brian." And you're just like, "This is incredible." And then there's like a
This
Meg,
is so meta.
but there's a Meg joke because like Mila Kunis starts
Oh,
talking
of
as
course
Mila
it's-
Kunis, and Meg's like, "Why do I look like I do if my voice actor looks like she does?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't worry about it, Meg.
Don't worry about it, Meg. Yeah, it was actually that was a pretty
Seth
stellar
Green there
episode,
too?
huh?
Seth Green there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he what
He
was
just
it?
does Chris, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he,
I can't remember if he does any other voices.
No.
Chris was starting to ask all of the women really bad questions. Oh, because Mila Kunis said she had had kids, and he asked her if she was still producing. And then he started like Chris started asking all of the females that, and then he's like, and then what was it? How about you, Seth? And Seth's like, I'm a man, and 2, no. And he's like, that's okay. I still like your Robot Chicken show.
No.
And then you get Seth MacFarlane, who's like, stop plugging your own damn show.
Are they still making robot
They are
chicken?
still
Oh
making.
yeah.
Oh,
It cost them
Haven't seen
pennies to make.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I
costs them
always
nothing
love-
now, and they make a fortune. They make a fortune.
They already have like this backlog of action figures. They just need to like, what we're doing Batman jokes.
Oh, okay, Batman.
I
Batman
always loved when
figures.
they did the
Or
Star
Transformers.
Wars stuff and
Oh,
Yeah.
poking
yes.
fun at him.
Yes.
And then there was one episode, and I forgot what the gist of the whole joke was, but they were trying to find someone else to do a job.
Yeah.
And Peter goes off listing every character like that's ever, and then it does like the time lapse. And because he had said one of the characters, the peg leg guy is like, "Oh, you said my name."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, but like, no, we're just it was the joke, and he's like, "Oh, but we're all here," and they look through the window, and like everybody who's been on the show before, like they've thrown them back in, as like standing in front of the house in this giant group of people.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate because the mayor was gone and his old
Oh,
boss was
yeah.
gone." And then he's like, "Wait, we're on an animated show. Animated ghosts?" And they both just pop up and kind of like nod, and then like there's a tiny tear in Peter's eye, and then he
right.
goes back in, and I'm like,
Was that the Adam West thing?
And
and
Carrie
no,
Fisher.
and Carrie. It was after they had already passed, so this was
okay.
just like.
Oh,
Almost a tribute to them.
This was very much just to like, if we're showing everybody who's ever been on the show before, we can't skip these two, so they pretty much show up as Force Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's sweet. Because, yeah, the Carrie Fisher tribute is on this season, and it's right at the beginning of the episode, and he does a very good job of it, and then they turn it into a very good joke.
Yeah.
And then they replace his bosses at the brewery.
Ah.
What did they do for Adam West?
I don't remember.
Did they ever do anything?
I don't know. They must have done something.
I don't know.
it's a pretty big character for them. Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a mayor.
He was the Quahog.
Dog.
But yeah, Carrie Fisher, it's essentially he like starts giving a eulogy at the beginning of the episode, and then he ends up at the wrong funeral.
Oh.
That sounds about right.
Typical
So
Peter.
It's Peter.
Yeah,
Like
Peter.
it was
Sounds about right.
what the words were beautiful, and then there's an Asian family sitting there going, like, "Who are you?" And you're like, that's the best Family Guy way of doing exactly what you just did.
Yeah.
So that show can still hit.
It's got pieces to it.